So why did I decide on a career in nursing? My desire to be a nurse wasn't something I was always aware of. I actually completed a degree in public health, and towards the end of that, I was given the chance to complete an internship in emergency medicine research at UF Health. It was the first time I had ever been in a hospital setting, and it was the first time I interacted with patients clinically at all. It was also the first time I ever saw a nurse in action in the acute care setting. And throughout that internship, I did really enjoy the research aspect, but I also noticed that I enjoyed working with the patients much more. I also loved to see how the patients lit up when their nurse walked in the room and they really trusted them, and it was like they would be so scared, and then their nurse walked in and they would just, you could just see a little bit of hope in their eyes. Then I started nursing school, and just listening to how my professors talked about the nursing profession and my clinical instructors, it definitely confirmed my desire. I also really enjoy learning and solving problems, especially in relation to optimizing my patient's overall wellness. Knowing that I'm able to change someone's life, even if it's just for 12 hours, it's very important to me. And I also really appreciate the approach that nursing takes on wellness. Looking at the patient as a whole, it's really important just to recognize that everyone's different and everyone's unique, and you need to tailor your care to every person. So my greatest strength, weakness, and what I want to improve on. I would say my greatest strength is my approachability. And as a nurse, you are responsible for a human's life, assessing your patient, educating them, and advocating for them. And if your patient doesn't feel like they can come to you and ask you questions or confide in you, it's really going to put a barrier on your care. An example that I can think of, if you are discharging your patient with a medication and they have a question but they're nervous to interact with you, that could be a problem. I always try to let my patients know I'm listening in a non-judgmental way, and if I tell them I'm going to do something, even as simple as going to get a cup of water, I'm going to do it. I want to be the nurse that says a lot and does a lot, not just says a lot. A weakness of mine that I discovered throughout nursing school is that sometimes I lack confidence in my decisions. And this is something that during my time in clinicals, I was able to really work on. I've been really learning how to trust my knowledge and skill set, because I have gained so much knowledge in class. I've learned so many skills, and I know I can do them. And I need to be confident. And lacking confidence, especially in the nursing field, is not going to help you or the patient. And something I want to improve on is my efficiency in patient care. Throughout school, or getting into nursing school, was definitely a wake-up call. There's not really another way I can describe nursing school. It's very unique, and you really have to learn how to be efficient with your time. And that's something that I did, and I'm able to prioritize my time and put in very quality work. And even as a server, I learned that I had to figure out the best way to manage my tables to make sure that everybody got what they needed. And in the service industry, unexpected events always occur, and I had to learn how to handle that and not let it overwhelm me. And I know that once I begin my career in nursing, I'll be able to do the same with my patients. A conflict in the workplace and how I solved it. So I used to wait on tables, like I said, over the summers of my first degree. And every summer I would go back, there would always be new coworkers, and this restaurant especially had a high turnover rate. I don't think it was because of management, because I thought my manager was awesome. It's just not like a lifelong position. And one summer in particular, they really needed to fill a spot, and so they hired this lady, and she had a bunch of experience, and I thought she was really good. She was really upbeat and motivated and moving at 100 miles an hour. She barely ever made mistakes. But the more time I spent with her, the more time I realized that she always had a problem with somebody, if not a coworker, then a customer, which I thought was really strange. And she was either calling in sick or arguing with someone to pick up shifts. So it was kind of confusing. One morning in particular, I was opening and she was the other server on, and I asked her to go grab something out of dry storage. And then I realized I needed something too, so I went over there and I heard her talking. I thought she was on the phone maybe. I didn't really want to disturb her, but I did peek around and I noticed that she wasn't talking to anybody. And that was extremely concerning to me. She sounded really angry and I did not want to confront her. So I just walked away and I just thought about it for a little bit, and I realized that's maybe something I should tell my manager, because for all I know, she could have been mentally ill and needed help, or I don't know. So I talked to my manager and he told me I wasn't the first to say something about her, and he pulled her aside and they got to talking, and I wasn't involved in the conversation. But anyways, it turned out that she was impaired and she was trying to get clean, and she lost her job. And I felt really, really bad. I felt like it was my fault that she lost her job, and all day it was weighing on me really heavy. But I do know that coming to the manager was the right thing to do, because no one should be working under the influence. Lives weren't at stake in the situation, but she could have caused a problem or got into an argument, and it just wasn't worth it. My most rewarding clinical experience, it was probably getting to see my first delivery. I have never experienced anything like that. I learned about it in school and watched videos, and real life is just seriously different. It was life-changing as a person and a nurse. I loved watching the nurses support the patient. The patient trusted them. You could tell she listened to them. She turned to them when she had a question. It was wonderful. And she was in so much pain. And typically, seeing someone in pain kind of makes me upset for them. But I knew that she wanted this baby so bad. So I was cheering her on, and I got to hold her leg while she pushed, and it was awesome. And it was so amazing when the baby was finally born. And she was able to be connected with him, and you could just see the pain leave her body and the love just fill her heart, and her eyes were it was just such a happy experience. I also noticed that these nurses knew what they were doing. They took action so fast. They noticed every little change, and that's very important to me. I really want to be that type of nurse. And I also noticed that you get to be there in someone's happiest moment and support them, and these nurses also get to be there in someone's darkest moment and give them some hope. And that was something that I would really love to do with my life. UF Health in particular would be a place that I would be able to grow as a nurse. For me, this would be the optimal environment, because I want to serve my community as a nurse and a health educator. And that is something that I know I'll be able to do through this organization of UF Health. I want to be a part of the ongoing and new research and implement all the new findings of best practice into my practice, and gaining knowledge is extremely important to me. And being an environment of continuous education would be the greatest environment for me to keep growing and learning and perfecting my practice, and just being a part of an evolving chain of knowledge. I believe I believe that I am the best candidate for this position because of my desire to learn, my ability to pick up new information quickly, and my background in public health. I am very passionate about women's health and nursing in general. I want to be the best nurse I can be, and therefore I will go into every shift with the desire to learn and do more. I have sharpened my critical thinking skills throughout nursing school, and this allows me to look at a situation as a whole and take action appropriately. Also, with my background in public health, I look at the patient as a whole, not just an individual laying there in the bed. I look at their background. I want to know about their emotional support or health, and I want to know about their physical health, because all of this shapes them into who they are. And I will always take that into account to tailor my practice for each unique patient. And I will always work hard and strive for excellence every day.